Welcome to the first FightMatrix podcast. My name is Heather, and I'm part of the FightMatrix team. And this is Oleg with me here.
Hi,
Oleg, will you introduce yourself? Sorry.
yes, my name is Oleg, and I am the co-founder of FightMatrix.com, the leading online MMA professional fighter ranking portal. And we are here today to talk about some upcoming fights. There's a UFC fight night this weekend with Lopes versus Silva as the main event. And there's also a big boxing match this weekend with Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. So we're going to talk about those fights and give some thoughts and predictions.
All right. Um, let's start with the rankings first. Everybody wants to know about Fight Matrix rankings, and I'm not able to explain them. So could you do that, Oleg, please?
Sure. So
Thank you.
FightMatrix rankings are based on a proprietary mathematical system, which is at its core based on LO. ELO is a system used to rank various sports, most notably tennis and chess, but it's used in many other sports. It's mostly used for one-on-one sports and not so much team sports, though I'm sure it's been applied to team sports before as well.
Oh,
And it assigns everybody starts with a starter rating of 10 points. Say you're a fighter making your MMA debut, you start with 10 points. And then, based on the record of your opponent and the outcome of your first match, you will either gain or lose points. And so, same thing with every consecutive fight. You will gain points if you win, you will lose points if you lose, and then you're ranked based on how many points you have. Um, Now, I mentioned that Fight Matrix is based on LO, but it's not pure LO. There's a lot of additional factors to make it more adaptable to mixed martial arts and the reality of the sport where fighters don't fight at the same frequency. Some fighters might fight once a year, some fighters might fight 5 times a year, and so with pure LO, it's you get some odd results. So we have a proprietary system that accounts for things like win streaks, world championship belts, various other factors. But if you view our rankings, you can also view several other versions. So one is LOK 170, one is LO modified, there's Glico 1, and there's WHR. And WHR is probably the most accurate in terms of predicting fight results. So we use WHR for our weekly picks.
all right. Um, so right now you have about 8,500 professional athletes that are professional MMA athletes ranked.
Yes, essentially anyone who has fought in the past 450 days and has at least 10 points or are above the starter rating, they will be ranked.
Okay. And you said about, did you say the 450 days you have to be active, correct?
Yes, you have to have a fight in the last 450 days.
Okay. Um, so let's get into the UFC main event this I believe it's on September 13th.
Yeah, September 13th is Saturday. I believe this is in Las Vegas at the Apex facility. Though I'm not positive about that.
Okay.
Um, so what do you think about the main event? That's to me it was the most interesting fight on the card is Lopes versus Silva.
That's actually sometimes you go through and you want to watch the entire card. Sometimes you just want to, that's just the one event that I want to see this on this card. I think that they're both great. They both are well-rounded. One's a better grappler and one's a better striker, but they've started out with having um developed more of a well-rounded foundation. Not their foundation from what their foundation was. They built on that, and now they're well-rounded, both of them. So this should be a really competitive fight. Um, I'm leaning towards Silva with the decision, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I don't know. He's really good. I like him.
Yeah, last couple of months have not been great for the fighting nerds camp. They
No.
had four guys who were undefeated in the UFC, and first Carlos Freitas lost to Ian Gary, and then just last week Caio Borralho lost
Yes.
to Imamov, and Mauricio Ruffi lost to BSG. So Gian Silva is the last one who is undefeated in the UFC. But I also happen to think that he is the best of that group of fighters. I think
Yeah.
he's the real deal. We're just watching his fights. You know, he reminds me of another Silva. He reminds me of Anderson Silva. The way he just plays with his opponents in the ring, and he just kind of does whatever he wants and shrugs off anything that's thrown at him. And he's mostly known as a precision striker, but in his last fight with Bryce Mitchell, where everyone thought his grappling would get tested, he actually ended up submitting Mitchell. So it's clear that he has improved his grappling, and
Sure.
I think he can hang with Lopes, whether it's standing or on the ground. And
I believe so.
my prediction is Silva by knockout or TKO. I think at some point over 5 rounds, he will catch Lopes with some combination that will put him down.
Really?
Lopes is a very aggressive kind of brawling style of stand-up fighter. He throws bombs. He goes for the knockout with every punch, and I think that might get him in trouble a little bit with a counter striker like Silva.
Um, you don't think it will go to, okay. I'm
Yeah,
not going to say anything else.
I don't think this fight will go the distance.
Okay.
I see it ending with a knockout on either end, but I'm leaning towards Silva.
Yeah, I think Silva's a really good one. I liked Ruffy too. I was really disappointed when he did not win. And I like the fighting nerds. So that
Yeah,
stings.
and they were all doing great, and they
Yeah,
just had a string of average performances, or in case of
unfortunately.
Rafi, yeah, he got completely dominated by Saint Denis.
Yep. So are you interested in any other of the performances of the night?
So other fights on this card, I gotta say it's not a very deep card beyond the main event. The
No,
co-main was
no.
supposed to be Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr., which would have been a good fight, but Rosas had to withdraw with some sort of an injury.
Okay.
So now Rob Font is fighting David Martinez, which is
Martinez is going to be, that's a
um,
better fighter, isn't he?
well, I don't think Martinez is a better fighter than Rosas, and I think there is a big
No.
difference. There's a big difference in rankings between Font and Martinez, and I don't think they're on the same level currently. So Font is currently favored by the Vegas odds as well as
Oh,
all the Fight Matrix mathematical formulas.
by how
So,
much?
well, WHR, which, as I mentioned, is typically the most accurate, has them as a 60% favorite, which is very close to the betting odds, which have them as a 61 to 62% favorite. So the fight
Mm,
matrix and the odds seem to be in agreement that Font will most likely win this fight. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot of interest on this card. We have Jared Gordon versus Rafa Garcia, with Jared Gordon again about 60 to 70% favorite. We have Kevin Gastelum versus Dustin Stoltzfus, which might be one of those fights where the loser gets cut or does not get resigned at the UFC, because both of them have been kind of alternating wins and losses and
sure.
have not been um, uh, are both coming off a loss in their most recent fight. Again, Gastelum is favored by all, the betting odds as well as all the Fight Matrix mathematical systems. He's anywhere between 70 to 80% favorite to win here. Then the only other fight on this card I want to mention is Cedricus Dumas versus Zachary Rees, and not because it's a particularly interesting fight to me, but I'm just shocked that Cedricus Dumas, with all his legal troubles, with how many times he's been arrested for various things, that he is still on the UFC roster. I mean, this guy is not John
Well,
Jones. It's understandable that they keep John
I was
Jones
thinking,
around. Yeah,
there's
but
other ones I'm not mentioning, but you want to open the book of can of worms. There you go. There's
yeah,
one of
but
them. There was a couple that were
this guy does not have the name recognition value of John Jones. So I am
sure.
really surprised that they keep him around and keep giving him fights, and he goes out and keep getting himself in trouble.
Maybe they're
So
going to get rid of him.
yeah, interestingly enough, Dumas is favored by WHR, but
Mhm.
the other systems and the Vegas odds all have Zachary Rees as between 50 to 60 percent favorite to
So that's like a
win
flip
this
of a
fight.
coin. It's a toss of a coin, basically, right?
Yeah, it
Kind of.
could go either way.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
I
for
bet, I would not bet on that one.
no, I would not.
Okay, I played the flip. If anybody knows what that is, it's a pretend betting game. I win all these coins. So the Silva, that's the only one I would do any betting on if I was like actually a gambler.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
Rob Font is probably a pretty safe bet.
promising. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of value on it in terms of odds. Well, he's not that big of a favorite, so yeah, I'd say the Rob Font is probably a good bet. Another fight I want to mention is um, Danil Donchenko is taking on Matt Dixon in the finals of the most recent Ultimate Fighter season. And this fight was supposed to take place I think, last month, and one of the opponents had to pull out, so they rescheduled it. So that's also taking place this weekend to crown the winner of Ultimate Fighter Season 33.
Isn't that amazing? Season 33.
Yeah, that show has been on for a long time. I'll
Yeah,
be
I
honest,
remember
I
watching.
stopped paying attention to it quite some
I
time ago.
it was a couple seasons I think I watched. Who was that guy that he did something real dirty in the fridge?
Oh yeah, I don't remember the sushi episode. I know what you're talking about. I
Oh
don't
my gosh.
remember
I don't
which
remember
season it
what
was or
happened
who did it,
exactly. It
but
was dirty
yeah,
though.
somebody jerked off in somebody else's box of sushi, I
Oh
believe.
my
And
God.
that
Is
was
that what he
what
really
happened.
did? I didn't remember exactly what happened.
I think that's what
That's
it
really
was. Yeah,
bizarre.
there's been some wacky stuff going on that show.
Yeah.
They encourage it for the views.
I mean, sure, why not? More viewers. Um, the more out there stuff, the more viewers. Um, so anyways, I want to backtrack for a minute. You mentioned Anderson Silva. So you think this Silva is kind of like Anderson Silva? I love Anderson Silva. He's my favorite striker in history here
Yeah,
in the UFC and
I see some
MMA.
similarities between their striking style. Obviously, it's a little bit too early to say, but I think if Silva wins this fight, he has a good chance of getting the next title shot at Volkanovski. Because
Nice.
they were trying to float the idea of Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez rematch,
Yeah,
but I don't think Yair earned the rematch, and I don't think fans are really that interested in this rematch. So,
just dropped it.
yeah, that idea was kind of floated by Dana White and was not met with much excitement. So I don't think that fight is happening. And then the guy who should be getting the next title shot is Movsar Evloev. Unfortunately, Movsar Evloev has all his fights go to the decision, and I don't think Dana White really wants to give him a title shot until he starts finishing people. It's kind of like a situation with John Fitch back in the day, where he had to win
Oh
so many
yeah.
fights in a row before he got the title shot at St. Pierre. Because even
That
though he
was a
was very
shock.
good, he was kind of a boring fighter who did not have much finishing ability. So it's kind of the same thing going on with Evloev. And I have a feeling that if Silva has a good performance and if he is able to finish Lopes, he might jump to the top of the line and get the next title shot.
Oh, I miss back in the days when you didn't have to be that well-rounded of a fighter, and but now it's more interesting because they're so well-rounded. They're doing crazy moves. I mean, it's some interesting stuff. But I mean, the performance now is pretty cool. But back in the day, like say when Anderson Silva was around, he was like he was the land shark that would do the dancing around the perimeter of the octagon around his opponents. It's like he was never in the middle. And I was so bummed when I was watching that event and somebody showed me this um that said it was a message on their phone that said Anderson Silva just broke his leg, he lost. And I paused before that the TV and came back to watch it, and this guy just ruined everything for me. It's my favorite fighter, and I was so ticked off. And I knew that I was like his career is just over. So yeah, that's an interesting comparison I think you made between them, the Silvas.
Yeah, we can only
That's
hope that
cool.
Jan Silva can live up to his name. There's been a lot of
Come
famous
on, yeah.
Silvas in mixed martial arts.
It sure has been.
Yeah, Anderson is the most notable one. So maybe this guy will surpass him someday.
Well, isn't Anderson Silva, who is it? Anderson Silva is tied with George St. Pierre, or is it Habib
Oh,
with 16 belts?
if we're talking title wins,
No,
then
just MMA.
well, if we're talking MMA overall, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Chris Cyborg has a lot of
Mm.
titles
She has
all
17, but I'm
all
talking
across.
about besides her.
Yeah,
Who's
but if
tied with
if we
Anderson Silva, I
if we're
wonder.
talking about just the UFC, then John Jones is number one with 16 title wins, and then
Oh, maybe that's who it was. Okay.
George St. Pierre with 13, Demetrius Johnson with 12, and Anderson Silva is tied with Amanda Nunes at 11.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I wonder what it is. It's something different.
Maybe you're thinking consecutive title defenses, in which case Anderson Silva is second behind
He,
Mighty Mouse. Mighty
yeah.
Mouse had 11, and Anderson Silva had 10.
I'll have to look that up and then I'll get back to you on that one because that's not exactly what I'm talking about, but that um Mighty Mouse, yeah, he was a good fighter.
Yeah, so anyhow, we have somewhat of a mediocre UFC fight night, but that has a great main event. But we also have a big boxing matchup coming up that's being put on by TKO Boxing. So the
I
partnership
see.
between Dana White and Turkey Al-Ashik, they are coming together to bring us this fight between Alvarez and Crawford. So
I'm
what are
interested
your
in
thoughts
that.
on this?
Okay. So I think this is going to be a really good matchup. It's a great matchup. I think it's going to be really competitive. I like both fighters. Both boxers are awesome. And I think it's going to go the distance. I think that it's going to be Crawford who gets the win and most likely to decision.
I agree. I think those both of them are so good that I don't really see either of them knocking the other out.
Yeah,
So it will probably be a close fight. It will probably be a controversial decision. There probably
sure.
will
By
be a rematch
points.
down the
Yeah,
road.
yeah. Several.
But what I like is that they're putting it live on Netflix and it's not a pay-per-view. So
Yes.
that's a great move by the TKO group to
Hmm.
just broadcast it for free for all the Netflix subscribers. I'm just hoping the Netflix can handle the traffic, unlike the last
Yeah,
time where they had Jake Paul boxing Mike Tyson and
that was horrible.
the stream
It
kept
just crashed.
crashing for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will handle it a little better this time. Probably wouldn't be quite as many people watching as there were for the Mike Tyson fight.
Well, hey, you know what? I want to go piggyback off of that right now and talk about Jake Paul. So I think, what do you think about him? Do you think this is my thoughts? Maybe he started to get into this kind of clown show boxing initially to build up a fan base. Maybe he's brilliant and he's great at all this. Like marketing himself. I mean, he's obviously great at marketing himself. He doesn't take matches before that he couldn't handle. And now he's gonna be legitimately fighting. I don't think he's gonna per se do well and be like the best boxer or anything, but you know what? I think he's gonna make be a moneymaker because he has the fan base. What do you think?
Well, he definitely knows how to make money. I'll give him that, and
Hell yeah.
he knows how to get people to tune into his fights, whether they like him or they want to see him get knocked out. Um,
Sure,
and
definitely.
it's interesting that he's finally taking on someone who is a real boxer, in Gervonta Tank Davis. He's young, he's undefeated, he's a champion in his weight class. But there is going to be probably like 80, 90 pound weight difference on fight night between that two. So again, Jake Paul, while he's taking on a dangerous opponent, he still made sure that he has a big advantage. And I also just doubt the legitimacy of any Jake Paul fights. So I don't know if they're really going to be trying to go after each other and knock each other out, or if it's just going
Well,
to be a glorified sparring session.
that would be illegal because isn't it through the WBC?
I don't know. I think they were having a hard time getting this fight sanctioned because of
Oh,
the weight
okay.
class difference. So I'm
They
not
go by
sure
the
still
book.
whether
Well,
whether
except
it's
when they're
going to be
scoring.
I'm still not sure whether it's going to be a professional fight or an exhibition match. So most
Okay.
likely it will be exhibition, and I don't think they're really going to try to take each other's heads off. I think it's going to be mostly a sparring match that will go the distance. And Davis is obviously a far better boxer, so he should be
Sure.
able to win a comfortable decision here.
Yeah.
But people who are expecting Jake Paul to get knocked out, I think, might be disappointed.
Well, I want to see Francis Ngannou knock him out. That's my dream come true.
That would be a good fight. I don't
That
think
would be a beautiful
Jake
fight.
Paul would ever go for that one.
He would never go for that one. He's not an idiot.
But there were some talks about him fighting Anthony Joshua and such. So who
Well,
knows?
that's not going to do
Maybe
well.
maybe
I
he
don't
will
know.
start fighting real cruiserweights and heavyweights.
How do you think he'll do if he fights Anthony Joshua? I mean, I don't think he's
I
going to
don't
do
think
very
he's on
well.
that level yet. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no.
he's not a bad boxer.
He's not,
He's been
no.
doing it for years now, and
So he knows how to do it,
he
yeah.
has some skills and technique. But yeah, Anthony Joshua is on a whole different level.
He's a professional boxer
Right,
already. Yeah.
who has been at kind of the top of his weight class.
It's it's kind of like I mean, you can't say that Jake Paul doesn't know how to box. I mean, he obviously trains. I mean, so he's not a boxer, but it's just interesting. I would like to just because I always want to see him get knocked the hell out. So I would like for myself to see him legitimately box, like in the WBC or something, and not, I mean, just slowly do it like everybody else. Work your way up. Come on. I mean, don't
Yeah.
cheat here. Don't cut in line, Jake Paul. Go back. This is not like a middle school here. Go back in the lunch line, man. You know, for real. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about any upcoming events or any
this,
upcoming athletes that you want to highlight?
well, we've had our last year 2024 Rookie of the Year, Thomas Gant, who
Hmm.
I think is supposed to be having a fight coming up on Dana White's Contender Series.
That's going to be
So
good.
if he has a good performance there, hopefully we'll see him in the UFC soon.
That will be a nice thing. He's really good and he seems like a really good guy. I did I did an interview on him and he seems really nice. Um, So yeah, he's good, but he's not fighting as much as he was before.
Right, as
Maybe
you
perhaps training.
move up and start to do it professionally, and it becomes your full-time job.
Sure.
And
You
I know
train more.
he still coaches wrestling, I believe, but yeah, he's not going to fight anymore as frequently, especially if he gets into the UFC. You just don't get. I mean, there are some guys like Kevin Holland and Rainier Derrida who fights 5 times a year, even in the UFC. But that's an exception rather than the rule.
I like Kevin Holland.
He's a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
He's one of those fighters that will never be champion, but will always put on fun fights.
How about Derek Lewis?
Derek Lewis is one of my personal favorites. He's the leader of the most knockouts in UFC history, and he's also just a funny guy. He
Yeah.
has a great personality. He just silly sense of humor. The guy takes his pants off after he wins and waves them around and moons the
It's
crowd, and
amusing.
people love
Well, he has underwear on. It's fine, right? I mean, he's in his
Oh,
bathing suit, kind of.
he's pulled his underwear down to a couple of times. He's given us the full moon.
I don't remember that. I don't recall any of
Yeah, it happened
that.
once or twice.
Oh wow. Thank goodness I didn't see that. So what do they do? I mean, you just see his butt.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever really show it on TV, but he definitely has mooned the crowd before.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, he's a good one to watch. I mean, despite that, I don't want to see that. But other than that, there's some interesting ones out there. There was the twerking lady. I forget her name. I don't think she's
Um,
not around anymore.
I'm having a hard time remembering her name too. Was it Vanessa Demopoulos, maybe?
Maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember anymore.
Okay. So I want to see Jillian Robertson fight again. She's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't heard much since her last fight. I don't know if she has
No.
anything lined up yet.
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew. Okay. So let's wrap things up here. Um, that's the end of our show. And would you like to say anything, Oleg, to end it?
Well, see you guys next week when we'll talk about more upcoming fights.
And hopefully we'll have our other teammate Joshua on here. He was not able to attend today, but he is very insightful and makes good predictions. And he does really good job at sports analysis. Um, so we'll have him on next week. All right, everybody have a great day. Take care. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend ahead. Bye.